First of all, I would like to thank the organisers for inviting me here to speak tonight, also the chair. I'll try not to keep this very long, just don't do this public speaking. I and 3 others arrived in Maghaberry in February 2002. Now, this was a time of tensions. The tensions were really high at that time. In the jail there was several other Republican prisoners already there, some from this city here. And at that time, as I say, the numbers was very small and they spread it out over 12 to 16 wings in the jail. That was between sentenced and remand. Obviously, to keep us apart, even our own co-accused, which there was 4 of us, they put us in a wing, separate wings, so we couldn't get contact. And then after a few months, when we finally decided a way of getting to meet each other, which was at that time the gym, or going to Sunday Mass, which was one chapel to serve all prisoners. We finally got meeting each other on Sunday morning, and we talked about the conditions in the jail, what they deteriorated somewhat with loyalists, and the tensions was very high, and the beatings had started between Republicans and loyalists. And during this time it was becoming very apparent what those certain members of the prison staff had an agenda against Republican prisoners, which they were using where we were going illegals and gyms and stuff where you would be deliberately run until waiting rooms with 6 and 7 loyalists at a time. So we decided we had to carry out some form of protest for segregation at that stage. The form of protest at that stage nobody was totally sure of, because our numbers, as I say, were small. There might have been 18 of us, and we're spread out over all them wings of the jail. So we initially decided on what our first form of protest would have to be, to refuse to cooperate with the prison administration and the screws who locked us up. After a while of doing that there, obviously, there's only so long you can do something where everybody gets a bit bored of it and everything else. So we decided we had to up the ante. During the course of this time, the prison administration had realised what we're using Sunday Mass is not only a place to go to Mass, but we were meeting and organising for the future months ahead. So they refused us access to Mass. So that became a whole new battle on its own at that particular stage. It cut links from however many of us was there at that stage. You couldn't get to talk to new prisoners who come in. So we devised our way of delivering messages around the jail, where it was the use of ordinary prisoners who would be in on the wings or whatever else. After the initial stages of doing the normal things, where we refused to cooperate with screws, we refused to lock up in the evenings at lock-up times, and we just generally become a bit of a hindrance to them. As I said, the loyalists started to attack in great numbers at that stage. Some of us was placed on wings with 28 cells, and on them wings there could have been anything up to 9 loyalists and 1 Republican prisoner at that stage. So you ended up sharing the same areas for getting your tea in the evening and stuff like that, and that's at them particular times where you would find, if there was only meant to be 5 out of 10, there would have been 8 out, and 7 would have been loyalists, and there would have been a screw to be seen. At that stage, several Republican prisoners were attacked with irons, pool cues, and at one stage in one of the wings there was a homemade gun used, and it jammed in the process of trying to kill a Republican prisoner. So at that stage we decided we had to up the ante, because this wasn't only now affecting a small amount of Republican prisoners in the jail, it was also affecting families, especially families, because we weren't segregated. Our families came in on prison buses, and they were made sit in waiting rooms with loyalist families, and again the same crack was, they were outnumbered, they were getting stared at, there was all sorts of things going on. loyalists started to get information on our families' cars, and the tensions at that stage got very high when it started introduced to the families. Then the screws would, on many occasions, what I can mind of on a personal basis, children was down sales, which would have been 2 or 3 years of age at that stage, and the screws would wait till you get into the very last search room and say, your father won't come out today because he doesn't want to see you. And that become a constant trend at that stage. Till nearly to the extent where Republican prisoners quit to get visits for the safety of their families. So we notified people on the outside to say what the protest in the jail over the next couple of months will probably intensify, not only for their own safety but for the safety of the prisoners, Republican prisoners within the jail. At this time, again, the administration used the norm from the early 70s right through to that present day. What strip searching would be upped, cell searching would be upped. Strip searching happened on maybe 6 times a day. Any particular day, your cell might have been searched twice. The legal visits became affected because they realised at that stage if there was 6 or 8 people used the same solicitor, then 6 or 8 people got to meet each other. And that could have been twice a week, and that didn't suit the jail agenda because we weren't meant to talk to each other. And they had us in 12 to 16 wings, so the only way we could talk was through legals. So finally they started to affect the legal visits. Family visits was totally at this stage nearly nil. They weren't getting in unless they were told we won't come out. The protest then started to escalate a wee bit more because when the people on the outside were told that we were going to up the protest in the jail, we started carrying out white line pickets and visit clergy and politicians and everything else. And at that stage, we get this wee new lease of life. What an actual fact is, maybe numbers were few in the jail and numbers were maybe fewer on the outside, but nevertheless there was people there to support us. So we felt that the onus on us to escalate the protest within the jail. I would say around probably March or April of 2002, things started to get really nasty. Again, the loyalist attacks were on a daily basis at this stage. The most senior loyalists they could find in the jail at that stage, they used to be moved onto Pacific wings, onto the wings of the people who they thought was controlling the protest. So a beating was inevitable at that stage. It took sinister towards probably through 2 or 3 months of that year. There was live rounds went off in toasters. Again, nobody knows where from, obviously. While you were cooking, there was things, they were called butter bombs, or floor tubs, was made up like Coke's bombs. There was talk that there was explosives found on one of the wings in the jail at that time. So at stages people thought, is this a divisive move on behalf of the administration to keep Republicans locked down permanently? Because the only people who seemed to be getting cell searches then, which was twice as bad as the week before, was Republican prisoners. During the whole course of this time, ordinary criminal cells, sex offenders or loyalist cells would be raided. There was mobile phones, drugs, all sorts of stuff found in these cells, and I have yet to see one of these other prisoners getting beat by the riot squad, which we had at that stage nearly on a daily basis. Coming till June or so of that year, the bomb disposals was in the jail 3 times a week. And during that whole time, we were locked down 24 hours a day. We never left the cell, we never seen a solicitor, we never had a visit, but still in all, we had 2 cell searches a day and maybe 3 strip searches during that time. Finally, when we did get visits, we were put through the same degrading act, with you had to remove your own clothes, lift your feet up, stick your tongue out, which we refused to do, and obviously there was a consequence to doing so, but nevertheless